Hello, this is Mary Beth Shaw from StencilGirl Products. I wanted to tell you about my friend Judy Woods' new stencils. First of all, I could barely get them in the frame today. They're big. They're 12 by 24, so this is 2 feet, 24 inches by 12. So these are, I'm just going to say, there's 3 designs. They're found on our website under Judy Woods' name. And these are the stencils of my dreams. I have not even cut them all up. I have a couple sets that I'm working from. I have a set at home, a set here at the studio. And here's what they remind me of. Judy's all about shapes in her work. And you know I love shapes as well. And I'm always using the scrap from stickers. So this is like after you use the stickers, this is the part that's left over, right? Like the sticker was the number 2, so that's the excess part. And I love that in my work. Well, here's some stickers, but anyway, like that. And I particularly like it in black. I also love using black painted areas in my work. And like here, I put a lot of black through the center of this journal spread. But here, I don't know what I was doing, and I wish I could figure out how I did this, but I think these may have been some other stencils I was using. But this is the kind of thing I want to do with these Judy Woods stencils. And I'm going to show you a couple ways that I've been playing with them. First of all, for this piece, this was a piece that I was working on. And true confessions here, I'm a big fan of Judy Woods. I'm in her Smarts class or Smart Starts class. See, I don't even know what it's called. I love it though. It's it's a year-long class, but you get to do it at your own pace. And anyway, I have learned so much. And this is a piece that was kind of just, I don't know, sort of, it just wasn't coming into anything, and I used her stencils to add some embellishment to it and more shapes. Here's another one where I used her stencils in different colors, not black, to add more shapes. So let's start at the beginning, and I'll show you what you do when you get stencils. First of all, like I said, there's 3 of them. And when it comes to you, it comes like one whole sheet. It looks like it's one whole sheet of Mylar. But if you look close, you see that there are these little holding tabs that get tiny, tiny scissors and put on your reading glasses and cut the parts out, okay? I got some clean stencils for this video because mine look all yucked up already, because that's how I roll, and it's because I think of stencils as tools. These are simply tools, just like a pair of scissors, like a pencil, like anything else you would use in your artwork. There are so many, many things you can do with these stencils, and I am very infatuated with the shapes of these. Can you draw your own shapes? Of course you can, but is it fun to have some just ready to go? Oh my goodness, it is so fun. So this is the first thing that you need to do, and then also figure out how you want to store them. I have a little Ziploc bag that I put the parts in, and then what I do is I tape the actual stencil itself. I tape it up along the edge of my desk so that they're always hanging there. So well, let's see if of course I started with the biggest hunk here, this huge complicated piece to cut out. So bear with me for a second. I'll get this out and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think that these stencils are absolutely the bomb. They are so creative. You can do so many things with them. If you are an abstract artist, you are going to love having a pair of these, or a set of these. All right, so here is what's called the mask that comes out of the stencil. This is the part I just cut out. And it's called a mask because when you put this down on top of your work, and then if you pounce or paint over it with a brush, it masks the underneath part, okay? So I'm going to show you that in just here in a flash, and then I'm going to show you the difference between a mask and a stencil. And so then here's the stencil part, and this is the part that is the stencil, because the outside of it is a stencil, and then this is a cut opening that you would put paint in and create a stenciled shape. But I am here to tell you there's so much more to do with these stencils. Let me show you this first of all, and we'll start looking at this one. I'm going to use Golden Fluid Acrylics Van Dyke Brown. So let's first put some out on my vintage book page, which is my palette. You know how I do this, right? I use this because it dirties it up, these pages, and then I use them in something else later on. So this is the mask, and let's see where we want to put it on here. You can put it, so, I mean, you could slap it right down in the middle if you want. You could move it around. I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to move it. I'm going to go around the edge of it a little bit, and here I'm going to take the paint all the way to the edge, okay? Because you have options when you're using a mask. You can just kind of blend it out like this. You can do whatever you want. That's the thing that's so cool. Okay, so look how I took this mask and I made that shape and I did some brown parts. I mean, the options just abound, right? So look at this mask a little closer. See how it has these little parts? I really like putting it right up to the edge like that and creating this little edge treatment. I'm actually going around the shape. I'm sort of using it like a stencil. I'm actually stenciling on top of stencils. Those of you with keen eyes are probably going, what on earth is she doing? Yeah, well, this is how I roll, people. I can't help myself. I'm just out of hand. Okay, so there's a few more. Now, this one got a little messy. Does that bother me? No, does not. I'm going to go to the clean side of the sponge, and I'm just going to pounce a little bit more there, and I'm just going to leave it. So you can see how just with the mask you can instantly add a little bit of additional interest. And I mean, good grief, this is one mask from one stencil. These have so much potential. I'm just gonna say, I try not to play favorites with our designers, and I really do try not to play favorites, and I can't help it. These are my favorites, and right now they could change, but as you look around, you can see all of the potential that you could gain here. You could just stencil this area in here. You could stencil another little notch shape. These are things that you can paint, sure, maybe, not me. I just work in a different way. My eye sees the stencils and the connections, and I get really excited by that. So that is one way to do it with the mask. Now I'm going to move the mask to the side and see if I can bring the actual stencil itself up here. This is the part that we cut the mask out of, remember? So this is the actual stencil here. One thing I've been doing is I've been tracing on the inside of it, okay? Because that just gives such an interesting effect. This is that Jerry's Artorama pencil that I love so much, the Jumbo Jet Black. You have to order these from Jerry's, and I'm even missing the lines, but I'm following along. So I think I'm just going to leave it right there. So I just did that outline, right? And let's pick up this other stencil. I love this little curvy thing. I already used it in here once, or here's one curve. Let's add another curve. Let's put it off the edge as a piece of interest here. And we'll just use our Jumbo Jet Black and we will trace around it. Okay, look at how it echoed the line over here. with a pencil mark that's same, different, same, different. Anyway, I am just super stoked about how you can do so many things with these, right? Okay, so there's that. We'll keep going like that. Now, I want to show you, probably, this is just, you know how sometimes your favorite things you discover by accident? At least that's the way it works for me. I'm always discovering things by accident. Like I do something and I drop it on the floor and I step on it and then I pick it up and it looks better with a footprint, or I paint something and then I drop it and get other paint on it, or I flick paint. Anyway, I think you get the idea, right? So I was working on this piece and these black areas. You might think that those were done with paint. Not. Here's what I did. I took black text weight paper and I took some of these parts and I put them onto the page in the, you know, to maximize the use of my paper, and I traced around it with a pencil. So there's one of them, traced around with a pencil. And then I maybe found a place to put another one here. Oops, I moved it. George. Okay, so I trace around it. You guys, this is like the easiest thing I have ever thought of in my life, and I am embarrassed that I never thought of it previously, because seriously, this is too good, and it's too good to not share. So that's why I'm sharing it today. All right, so then you cut these out. And if I wanted, I could have filled this whole sheet, and that's what I typically do, is I fill the whole black text weight page. This text weight paper is, just a quick promo here. It's in my Amazon shop. You'll see a link down below. It's hard to find, and I buy it by the ream because I really love a text weight black paper for collage. I use it for gel plate printing. I use it for so many things. Okay, so there's one piece. Then you can cut out this other piece, and I'm going to just bear with me as I do this because I want you to see what I'm left with. And it'll harken back to what we talked about at the very beginning. Because, I mean, I don't know. You know, sometimes I think I've been doing the same thing my whole career. I'm going on to 23 years as a professional artist. Well, I guess I'm in my 23rd year as a professional artist. And when I look back, I've been playing with shapes and designs and pattern in all my 23 years. Really, even back to my childhood. I just love it that much. But the joy for me is always finding new ways. So if that pencil line bugs you, just flip it upside down. Let's move this. And you can see these little pieces that we're coming up with. And then you see what we're coming up with here? Little extra pieces. Little, almost like the pieces that are left over from the stickers, right? Except you're doing them in a text weight paper. So before you know it, you have all kinds of interesting little shapes, and this can become your own version. Just go off the ranch here and make this whatever you want. Turned it into a little, you know, organic piece. I mean, I don't know. It's just too much fun. I love these stencils so much. I think for me, they're going to be transformative. I feel a whole new series coming on, people. So one other thing I had an idea about. I wanted to try this. I haven't tried this yet. I thought I'd try it with, this is that dry wax paper, like a deli paper. And let's see if I can find a place to work. This is the only part about them. They are big stencils, and if you're working big, you are gonna love these, I'm telling you. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this mask for illustration purposes and see how this works. I'm gonna lay the deli, the dry wax tissue over top, and then this is rubbing wax. It's for, actually made for gravestone rubbings. And you could rub on this. Any thin paper is going to work, like a tissue, or it just has to stand up to the rubbing mainly. But you get the little edge treatments of this, which I like quite a bit. Now, for me, I would probably just collage this whole thing down, but you might want to cut it out. I don't know. You can mix them up. You can add and subtract parts. I love getting just the line work of these. Now I've got two laying on top of each other, so let's get double duty rubbing here. I don't know. I could go on and on, but I think you get the drift. I think you probably realize how excited I am, and I'm just a stencil dork. What can I say? But for me, when I look at these, it's that interesting shape element that I want to add to my work that excites me to no end, and I just can't wait to use them more. And I hope that this has inspired you to play with shape in your own work and to take a look at these fantastic stencils designed by our friend Judy Woods. Thank you so much for watching today, and go stencil something.